Right, for Breckon Farms, over here for the National Weanling Sale, coming up on Thursday, the 26th of June, and been lucky enough to be here on the farm today and enjoyed a beautiful lunch with Jo and Dylan Ferguson. Firstly, Jo, welcome.
Thank you, Paul. Always a pleasure.
I've given you the microphone because you know how to drive that. And Dylan, welcome to you.
No, thanks, Paulie.
We're going to do a catch-up one day, a remote one, which we will still do, and I'll do a few more of those going forward. But lucky enough to be here for Breckon. We're just talking off air. I think you guys were saying, over the journey you had about 8 or 9 horses off them. They know how to raise quality stock, don't they?
Yeah, that's for sure. It's always nice working with their stock that they've bred and raised, and you sort of know that the horses have already had that the best start to life. So it's as I say, we enjoy working with them and taking them through to the next phase of life.
The best start of life is right too, because Nigel took Marie around just there before and showing the plates, and there's a plan for everything they do, which makes it a lot easier when you guys get them to start breaking them in.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the plan shows with the new stables behind us, and Ken and Karen always looking towards the future. They don't worry about the past too much, and they've got great staff here as well, and great horsemen and women, which, as I say, it really shines through when their progeny get broken in, and even on the racetrack, they're very well mannered horses.
And then you become part of a family, Jo, which is pretty much what it is. It is the Breckon family. It's quite funny with the BF and the. As an Australian, and Marie is here actually for the first time on the North Island with me. The farm's just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, yeah, we've got beautiful stables and that behind us, but the pasture care, the land, the hills, it's just an amazing place to raise horses, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, and as Dylan said, best start to life, more or less.
Yeah.
You're right, you do become part of the Breckon family, and we feel very honoured to be part of that and be included in things now, and come out here, probably not as often as we'd like to because we're busy ourselves, but yeah, it's always, we love driving in here and seeing the facilities. It's honestly unbelievable. And
their passion. That's the other part that is so cool, isn't it? They just have a passion for the industry, and they want it to succeed, and they organise this day. They knew I was coming over, and right, we want to promote you guys. Toddy Mitchell's going to catch up with him, and I'm going to catch up with a few other people. They have a passion for getting everyone out there and getting the word out there.
Absolutely, yeah, passionate is right, and big supporters of that. They put so much back into racing, and they support our stable. Young trainers, they're just, like you say, passionate, supportive, awesome people.
Right, they are selling a yearling at the Weanling Sales on Thursday. Starts at 2:30. The Weanling Sales. It is lot number 1081. So it's the 81st horse to go through, basically, because it's a new look NZB Sales. It is an Art Major colt out of Linda Lovegrace. He is a must look at. He's in the box back there. You might have to have a look at him as you go back out. You might not want another horse, but we want to make sure that they're there. And anyone that sees Nigel, congratulate him for his birthday. We're not sure exactly on a date, but it was his birthday today as well. So go from there. You guys gone out on your own 12 months-ish ago?
Coming up, yeah.
You're coming up. How's it all going?
Very busy and hard work, that's for sure. But no, we're enjoying it. Mum and Dad aren't probably enjoying working as hard as what they are, so we're there cracking the whip on them.
Seeing they're retired now.
Yeah, seeing they're trying to semi-retire. But no, it is good. We've had a lot of support from a lot of other trainers as well. Doing breaking in and a bit of pre-training and that. But us going out on our own sort of threw ourselves in the deep end a bit at the sales, and spent some coin, and we got good support from new and current owners. So yeah, it's all about sort of starting from the bottom and building our way up, but as I say, we're on our way, hopefully.
How'd you go with those? Did you get them all because you're trying to get owners in them? Have you got pretty much all of those guys filled?
Yeah, we got the same as anything. The too expensive ones sort of sell themselves, and we got a couple fillies here that we still own a fair chunk of them ourselves. But as I say, they're all nice horses and broken in well. So we're comfortable at the moment with our purchases, and as I say, it's all about just taking them through to the next stage and try and turn them into racehorses now.
Marketing, Jo, is one of those things we all need to do, whether people want to do it or not, and you do it to a different level to a lot of other people. How have you found going out on your own, purchasing babies? You've got to try and get owners with them. Have you found it a little bit more nerve-wracking, or you've got to attack it a bit differently?
Certainly more nerve-wracking this year. Dylan and I sat down obviously quite a lot before the sales, and we made a plan that we were going to have a crack this year, more or less. Sink or swim for us it was. And yeah, obviously Dylan in the previous years, I had still helped, promote those purchases, albeit they weren't from our pockets, the money hadn't come from our kitty. So, yeah, definitely more nerve-wracking knowing that we needed to get this done, But no, we were really pleased with the results. Obviously, the expensive colt, the Tickle Me Pink, which was purchased from here, he sold out, which is an awesome result. We're really excited about him. But yeah, the others... the Ilaria Sand filly, again from here, both Bold Eagles, and she's more or less sold out. But we targeted her as a ladies only syndicate because she's really pretty to look at, a beautiful, gorgeous filly. So, yeah, that was really cool, and that got a good response too. So, yeah.
And so it is a ladies only syndicate?
Ladies only, yeah,
awesome.
And there's only 15% left. So if anyone is interested in joining that, I'm more than happy to.
A lot of fun when they're done the right way too.
Yeah, so, and of course, Karen has remained in her as well, and of course, so that as we know, anytime Karen's involved, there's lots of champagne involved. I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and part of you might have to do different set of colours, and I'm going to touch on that in a minute. Do you like the Bold Eagles?
Well, we want to because we've spent a bit of money on them, but no, in all seriousness, they both they're very different horses actually, which is a little bit of a surprise. They're a bit chalk and cheese really, but they're both broken and well. They got lovely gaits, and they want to be a part of it, which is you're half the way there if that's the case. So as I say, we've only got the two of them. They're the only two we've ever put our hands on. So he's making a good impression on us so far anyway.
It's exciting the different bloodlines you can get with the trotters. As a trotting purist, well, you're not a trotting purist, but you do have I think your first gate is a trot. I might be wrong, but it's amazing now the bloodlines you can get here in Australia and New Zealand, or here in New Zealand, I should say, and Australia. But yeah, it's amazing the bloodlines you can now get your hands on.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like those two are both Bold Eagles out of Muscle Hill mares, so you've got the best of European and the best from America as well. So I think that definitely in the trotting gate, the bloodlines have just gone out of this world, in the last probably 5-6 years. What stud farms have done between Europe and America and that sort of thing, the gap between pacers and trotters has closed drastically. Used to, back in the day when Dad was doing all the breaking in, even Granddad and that sort of thing, if you had a trotter that trotted around in the cart, the first year of its life, you were wrapped, and now it's, as I say, you put them in the cart and 9 times out of 10 they just get up and trot straight away. And as I say, I think in that sense the gap between the trotters and the pacers has closed a hell of a lot.
It can be tricky. You go back to your marketing thing too, though. Like, one of the tricks with it is understanding the breeds, and it's funny because I talk about people that change the trotting. You'll always talk Duncan McPherson and Pat Driscoll, what they've been able to do. But what Ken's done here as well, and there's a lot of other people are involved as well with these. They can get a bit tricky, can't they? Understanding the breeds. Bold Eagle's not too bad, but there's a few of them that can be a little bit tricky understanding them. Do you guys religiously read catalogues and follow breeding trends?
Oh, we try to now. Obviously, we've got a couple of brood mares of our own as well. A couple of our good race mares and now mums, which is exciting. So, yeah, we try to sort of keep on top of it, but there's a lot to keep on top of. It's just constantly evolving, and it's really exciting, of course. Yep. So, yeah, we've got a Volstead on the way at the moment, which is exciting, and a Tomoko on the ground. So there's just so much option, and it's really. Hard to choose, to be honest. But we got to do our homework and do what we think will work with those mares. And there's a lot to take in. It's so much choice.
It's funny because they're amazing bloodlines to have coming through. Do you pinch yourself a little bbit? Like their bloodlines 5 years ago, maybe a Pat Driscoll or Duncan McPherson or Ken Breckon might have dreamt of being able to have those in. Where you got 4 horses by international known sires out of great mares as well by the sound. So yeah.
Yeah, like you said, we like the trotters. They're both trotting mares. We like pacers too, and Dylan's probably done more with pacers than what I have. But it is a kind of a pinch yourself moment. We're working with such fabulously well-bred horses, and also we have some on the ground. We sort of got to weigh up now where we're going to buy next, because we've got some well-bred horses of our own now, but. The first place we're going to look is Breckon Farm. So just going back to that, because they're always so accommodating and well bred. But yeah, it's awesome and exciting, and we're setting up our future. You know, the sires, they're expensive service fees, but once again, Dylan and I discussed and thought that the only thing that changes in price with when you're breeding is the service fee. Everything else falls. They all cost the same to feed and raise and break in and whatnot. So there's no point going to a sire that's, you know, perhaps not going across well with your mare or whatever and not performing. So yeah, we chose nice stallions, and so hopefully we reap the rewards for that in a few years.
Colin Duncan told me that exact same thing about 25 years ago, and it's stuck with me forever. Vet bills are the same, chaff bills are the same, farriers is the same. It doesn't matter if it's a cheap service fee or a dear one, so you might as well have a crack at the top end, and you get, you know, a much better chance of getting a good return from them. How many are you guys working at the minute?
I always say, we've cut back a wee bit, but I think there's still about 17 there at the moment. So I think for the last 4 or 5 months we've been doing about 25, but we've got roofs over 15 or 16 horses' heads, so we want to try and keep to that number over winter, obviously. It's only a smallish property, I think about 13 acres, so you know, start having 2 to a paddock and things like that at this time of year, and it turns into a mud bath pretty quick. So yeah, if we can keep it around that sort of 15, 16 mark for winter, that'll be good. But I think we had a count out, we did 20 plus breakers this year.
I think it was 28 breakers.
So yeah, that's kept us busy, and as I say, kept mum and dad out of trouble and working hard. So we're very lucky that you know, they get amongst it and want to be a part of it as well. So
do you have a goal? Do you have a number
to work?
Yeah,
I'd work 100 if I could. I'd be and racehorses as well. I'm the racehorse side of things. Joe and Dad would be happy just to do breakers and pre-trainers, I think. But
so Joe, do you have a number? Because I know, so his number's infinity. So do you have what would be an ideal number for you guys to be able to handle and do, or you like Dylan, if you've got the horses, you're happy to train them?
Yeah, honestly, I am more than happy to train them if we've got the numbers. And of course, I just wanted to add in, when Dylan said we did 28 breakers, obviously only 4 of them were our own, you know. So
you're giving back for the community as well.
Thank you so much to everyone who supported us. You know, we have some big names sending us horses to break in, and even those who are not such big names, you know, we appreciate the support so much from everyone. So, you know, we've gone out on our own, we've gone out on a limb, and we really have got the support. And so, yeah, we got up to 25 at one stage, and it was a lot. You know, we did have to employ someone to help us, which was big in itself, but also
and a curveball you wouldn't have been thinking about.
Well, exactly. You know, I wanted to keep it to a number where we didn't need to do that for a while, but you know, when the horses are coming and they're wanting you to take them, we're not going to say no. We appreciate that so much, and we still want to give every horse the best that we can. So yeah, no, it really evolved more than I expected it would in the first 12 months. Obviously, we didn't go into partnership, what was it, until the 1st of September, I think it was. So yeah, we're still coming up to a year. We're not there yet, and the support's been amazing, and I just can't thank everyone enough.
Yeah, that's is actually exciting. Do you like the way the industry's heading, Joe? I'll ask you first. I mean, you wear a couple of hats, but I mean, there's a lot more prize money. With that, there's a lot of toing and froing, roast programming, calendars. You know, like unfortunately, Cambridge tomorrow night. There's a bit of a glitch and it's that happens, especially when you're working things out. But do you like the direction the industry's heading?
Look, that's an interesting question, Paul.
I like curly ones every now and then.
Yeah, look, I think yes. Short answer, I think there needs to be some tweaking and some refining to where it's heading. I think there could be things that are potentially the money's better spent on, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be spent on prize money. Don't get me wrong; it should absolutely. You know, the more money going back into owners' pockets, the better. That's how we get more owners. But yeah, I think there just needs to be some refining, and maybe it's not quite being done 100% how it should be at the moment, and that's not against anyone, you know. It's still just fine-tuning and tweaking for a while, I think, until they get it spot on.
Do you enjoy it, Dylan, as a young person that's seen prize money going up and down, and I'm sure there would have been times where you second-guess yourself, the influx of money? There's two sides to it. Brings a lot of excitement. You say you want to have a part of it, but with that becomes responsibility and a massive outlay as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing at the moment with harness racing and probably racing in general in New Zealand is if you asked every owner or breeder or whatever at the moment, they're doing it because they love it and not necessarily for a financial return. Which I'm not saying that's what it should be about, but we've got to try and find that happy medium where people can get a result and on a bit more of a regular basis, I think. And like what Entain's done with the whole racing industry has been great, but we don't want to just rely on them. No. We need to pick the ball up and run with it ourselves and make something that's sustainable past, I think there's some 5-year funding was the original outlay. We don't want them to think, well, these guys can't survive without us and they can just dictate to us. We need to make good of what they've done for us and, as I say, make the industry sustainable for the future. Because I think a big thing for a young couple like us is if we didn't have probably the backing and mum and dad's property to work off and things like that, there's every chance we would have just gone away and done other things. And I know there's other people in the industry that have their parents backing as well, that probably think along the same lines of us. And then you've got the people that don't have a property to work from and things like that, and they just go off and get another job, whether it be in the industry or out of it. And that's probably the big thing for us is we're doing it at the moment because we can, not because we can actually afford it, so to speak. Probably partly our own fault wanting to live in the Waikato, as you can't afford to buy land property, or anything like that. But
you should be allowed to live with your mates. Like I don't you live here because the land's you got your mum and dad's land. There's also friends and family that keep you.
Oh, well, I've grown up here my whole life, and the last thing I want to do is move away from the Waikato. But as I say, we can't even afford to buy a house in Cambridge, let alone look at any land around the place. So it makes it very hard in the economy to certainly keep working forwards and, as I say, making a sustainable future. But as I say, we're very lucky in the position we're at to have mum and dad's property and that's set up to work from, so that helps us for the future, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think you only have to look at your closest neighbours and one of your closest states, Victoria, like where I'm from, things can change very, very quickly. So I think what you said then is pretty sound, and I think they will definitely be looking at it. You would hope so, especially seeing what's happened to Victoria, which was once one of the mighty states. Now, but things are turning, and that so it can come around. And I think the other thing, and I'm really careful of, and I hope you guys think about it a bit, is that hamster wheel effect, where you think you've got to have 17 horses in work or 18 horses. You don't want to get down to 10 because there's 7 empty boxes, and you start thinking what you're doing wrong. Do you guys have do you struggle at all with that, or do you think about that a bit?
Oh, we haven't too much this yet. As Joe said, we've got a guy that works for us part-time, Zach, and he's awesome. So we do want to keep enough in work that we can keep him in our back pocket.
That's that hard part, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's at the moment, that's sort of the only thing we're mindful of. But two, it's really both our full-time jobs now. We've got to make a profitable business out of it, and that's where Joe sort of said we've had a big influx of horses and we won't turn anything away, but also we want to get to the point where we can be a bit selective and a bit ruthless, and we want to get better. So the only way to get a better horse is to get rid of the one that's filling the box that's not that good. So as I say, the big thing for us now probably in the next 12 or 18 months is to focus on the young ones and try and lift the level of expectation or the performance of our stable up a bit. And it doesn't happen overnight, but it's something you've always got to be mindful of and working away at.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think very wise and pretty wise ahead. He's a bit of a surprise, isn't he, Joe?
Oh, sometimes. Sometimes you just try living with him.
Joe, one thing I do want to say about with the marketing too, and it's good that he's got the top on here today, but it definitely has the harness horse there that it is trotting to, so don't worry, it's not pacing, it's okay. But thoroughbreds and shows, you aren't necessarily all about standardbreds. I mean, you do have histories in both. You do a bit of rehoming and things along those lines. So there is a whole different, side of yourself, both of you, if you like, that people need to probably tap into as well.
Yeah, so obviously before we're in partnership, I did quite a bit of all three of those. And I did a lot of thoroughbred pre-training for Pam Gerard, Ballymore Stables, Ballymore Racing, sorry, I should say. And the equestrian side of things, I did a lot in Victoria. I've done a small amount here. It's been busy. I've been busy with the racehorses, so I just do bits and pieces in my own. But I also do the off the track. I'm a hero educator for HRNZ, and
plus also the Cambridge. You're involved with that?
I run the Battle of the Breeds at Cambridge Raceway, and all sorts of bits and pieces. So I'm quite passionate about the after racing life, and so there's lots of bits and pieces to that. But at the moment, we're more or less just the standard breds, and we have some thoroughbred pre-trainers come through. Obviously everyone will help with that. Unfortunately they can't ride though, but Dylan can saddle up for me, which is a big help. But so I still very much involved with the other parts of the logo there, but I think mainly our focus is the standard breds for now. Which
is exciting for the industry, and I'm sure you'd throw Fergus on the back of one too if you got stuck. I will let you guys go. A couple of horses for us to follow.
We've got a maiden in tomorrow at Cambridge called Sumdone of Woodlands Stud. She's the first one we've got to train from them, so hopefully we can get a little bit of a result out of her. She's no star, but hopefully over winter she can pick up a race or two. But we've probably, the racing side of things has fallen away a little bit in the last couple of weeks. We sold one and retired a couple, so we've just going through the motions with the race horses.
Wait for the 2-year-olds next year.
Yeah, well, hopefully we've got Kiss and Run's having her first run back on Friday night, and so she's back from a spell. So we got Cracker Jack. He went good the other night at Auckland, so he'll continue to race over the winter. But we've got a couple of nice 2-year-olds chasers on the case, run third in the Young Guns series, and we've got a down by the seaside 2-year-old filly that goes pretty good, so hopefully she might pop up in the feature races. Yeah, she's just come back. She had a couple of weeks on the water walk at Alex Forbes's, and she's going to hopefully race in the feature races later in the year.
Thanks, guys. A little bit fresh out here. Joe's feeling it. You're feeling it too. He's in shorts. We were standing a bit closer to the camera. We've ended up, he's almost fallen off the step. He couldn't go back any further. But I do appreciate it, Joe. I'm going to call on you a few more times too with Over the Ditch as well when you get a bit of spare time as well, just to try and bring some of the coverage back to the Aussies. I think it's important. I mean, you've been over there, I think people think that we can get too much coverage. I don't think you can. I think we need as much coverage as we can. No, totally agree. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining me today here at Breckon Farms. It was bloody nice lunch too. We've got to say thank you to Karen, I think, don't we? It was bloody very nice.
I think Ken had nothing to do with that.
I know Ken had nothing to do with that.
Karen is the host always.
Yep, and don't forget also lot 1081, the Art Major called out of Linda Lovegrace going through Thursday later in the afternoon at the NZB sales. Guys, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paulie. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.